Hello, welcome to Laura's Painted Minis. I am Laura, and we have a tent. Actually, there are actually two tents. We'll probably only get to the first one today, but we're gonna work on basically continuing some work I already started. You can see on the main. It's basically like hides, and we'll probably get to the fur too, maybe while we're at it. And we'll see from there what we get done after that. Okay. Nose is bothering me quite a bit because air quality is kind of bad, and then our HVAC air conditioning stopped working slash it short circuited and melted the control board. A little concerning. Like it started high pitched squealing, so I like turned it off. Then it's hot, and also I have allergies, so I was just like, well, I'll at least turn on the fan, and that can move air through the filters at least. But like, I immediately started smelling like a burning smell, and I was like, that's not good. I'm gonna turn that back off. And that's when I texted my husband and explained what had happened, and like, I should even, like, if I would be able to safely turn the air conditioning back on. It was just a weird glitch of some sort. And he was like, no, do not turn it back on. So he actually works a lot with installing commercial size HVAC control stuff as like for the like electrician side of things. He doesn't install like the vents or anything like that. That is a whole different trade. But yeah, when he got home, he took a look at it, and yep, and found the control board fried. Thankfully, it's the beginning of the summer, so like even though it is kind of pretty warm out, like by midday slash afternoon, the nights are still really cool. Nights and mornings. So it's not terrible. And it's also not um, we're not into the growing season enough for there to be the high humidity, all the moisture and stuff from the corn. And because I'm in Iowa, so I got corn, and that corn, as it grows, releases a lot of moisture into the air. So July and August are very, very humid. I. 'Cause. 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 'C and also good timing because I already had getting my haircut planned. So, yay. So yeah, new haircut. I wanted something fun, different, and also to something that was just lighter. My hair can be kind of thick, so it just when it gets long, just feels heavy. But hopefully that part gets in tonight. It's supposed to get in today sometime. It'd be nice if it came even well during stream or slightly afterwards. Basically, it'd be great if it came before my husband came home. I don't remember when he was gonna be home today. His schedule keeps changing lately. But then it'd be here for when he got home, and then just be a matter of time, a matter of like if he felt up to installing it as soon as he got home, or if he wanted a little breather from work. But yeah, my allergies have been kind of bad, especially because we also got some of the smoke from the Canadian wildfires. And it definitely was a lot worse than what we've gotten before when there's been like haze and stuff. Like Tuesday night, like we could actually, like it actually smelt like smoke. Um, it was definitely really bad. So we kept our windows shut, even though we really wanted to open them. To get in some cool air. Although last night it wasn't as bad. I mean, there was a quality air alert and stuff that was through this morning, but last night it already seemed like it really wasn't too bad. I mean, we had gone out to eat for my husband's birthday, and also I had a hair appointment. So I mean, we especially comparative to Tuesday night, it seemed like the air quality was pretty normal, even though the alert was still going. Okay. I got my husband a bunch of fidget toys for his birthday. I think especially with me getting diagnosed with ADHD, he's starting to be kind of more willing to accept and realize, and maybe also realize like that he's not going to get made fun of, maybe too. Oop, drop. But feels more open to, fidget toys and stuff like that. That was known to be helpful for people with ADHD and whatnot. Just like there's something about it of it can actually help with focusing on things, even though it would make you look kind of like maybe you're not focused because you're fidgeting with something. So yeah, I had made some mental notes about some things that I noticed he kind of liked at one of our friends' houses, and got him some of his own. Stuff, fidget things. It's kind of funny. So with my hair, with the new haircut, I don't actually really need hair ties anymore, but I did realize the other, like with looking into things, into fidget things for my husband, that the hair tie often does become kind of a fidget thing for me. So maybe I will still carry hair ties, or well, one. I don't need multiple. A hair tie, just for the fidget thing. So I know I think I said Monday that I was going to be working on my husband's mini some more today, but um, wasn't really thinking through fully about like I guess what I had left to do for my session, what I have left to paint for my next session of the campaign I'm running. Sorry, that is going to be part of the issue today is being able to think, because with allergies, that tends to kind of slow my brain down. Thankfully, I don't have a particularly busy week or weekend, except I could probably get a lot of painting done. And the tents are kind of the main big things that are left. Like, it's like little barricades type things. And I mean, there's a possibility they won't even be used, depending how fast, like the pace that my players decide to travel. I was excited when one of the players who is not going to be there on time, like they'll be an hour late, contacted me about what their player would do or be doing, like why they would not be with the party. So that was kind of exciting to me. I had like a really vague thing in mind, but it's a lot more fun, I think, when they're the ones who come up with it. And gives me an opportunity to actually introduce a character, an NPC, who may or may not become a big ally later on. Who knows? See where the campaign goes. Maybe this is the only time that character will hear of them. But I was kind of trying to think about, because I did want them to make at least a appearance. I just wasn't sure how that was going to work without me kind of stealing the limelight away, or spotlight away. So this is a good way to, gives me a really good opportunity to introduce said character without really taking the spotlight away really at all. Just kind of basically describe some things, some lore. I just need to determine how much. How much information to actually give. This is only the second session. But part of me kind of wants to reward the player for reaching out and, you know, actually thinking through what their character would do, why they would be gone, since they can't be there at the very beginning. I am actually going to start playing in a D&D campaign. They're actually already going, but I know the DM, and they were hoping to kind of get some diversity was the word he used. So yeah. So it's not all guys, pretty much. So that would be fun. I got kind of the basic details this morning as far as the level and, you know, what races he is okay with, slash, you know, what races are in the world that he's running. And I mean, I asked specifically if like basically if he thought they seemed, if the current party already seemed maybe unbalanced in one way, like melee, like maybe they were all melee or something like that. But he said that there wasn't really any specific area they were unbalanced in, so it kind of left it up to me. Which kind of then I was thinking, like, through what I have, the different classes that I have played, or like, you know, the different characters that I've played. And I was kind of thinking, I don't think I've really actually played a warlock before. So I'm thinking that I will be a half orc warlock. I don't know really anything about the actual world they're playing in as far as like lore or anything. That would probably be like another thing to ask, I guess, before I get too far into building like a backstory or something. I'm leaning towards doing a warlock that has a pact with like a sea god. So it's the called the Fathomless Pact, and then do a Pact of Blade with that. Which, I mean, doing Pact of the Blade is like really the easiest way to kind of make a warlock kind of a bit more of a little bit of a melee character. Still probably will be known for doing like Eldritch Blast. I also don't know if they do minis or not. But if they are doing minis, then I'll use this for my characters mini. Kind of thinking like that she'd be someone who maybe grew up like by the docks and kind of was turned onto the path of a warlock when the ship she was on encountered a very terrible storm. And like kind of the idea that, you know, she should have died, but as she was about to pass out, or maybe even before that, I don't know. Like kind of basically like getting saved by something in the water. Because that's what the Fathomless is. It's like essentially making a pact with a sea god, or sentient sea creature like a kraken was on the list there. And part of that will also then be too of like there's a like her bestie was lost at sea during that same time. So I do already have a pretty good idea of a backstory. I just haven't written anything down other than like picking out some, like, you know, like with filling out a D&D character sheet, creating the character, you know, there's always the personality traits, bonds, ideals, flaws. So I've picked those, and it's actually kind of like one of those that like really kind of like inspired the idea behind kind of how she would have started her path on being a warlock. I kind of feel like the only way, like, unless he's doing a world where there's like no water, I feel like I should be okay with character that I'm in the beginnings of creating for that. They are definitely doing just the original 5e, so 2014. But he said that like the subclasses didn't have to be from the 2014 player guide. He did specify like the race. So yeah, that'll be fun. Hopefully it won't be like too much to be running my own game and then playing in another one that's weekly. Then I'm also playing in a Draw Steel campaign. Technically, like quarterly is like on average of how much will that one will meet, but summer's a bit more open for others, so I mean, it doesn't really change too much for our my for myself and my husband, but our schedules don't really change much throughout the year, other than like around obvious family holidays like Christmas and Thanksgiving. So that's actually going to meet this month and next month. So that'll be fun. I'm playing a equivalent of a tiefling. So they've got like a it might just be called a like devil, but I mean it's like it's pretty much the same. They've got some different lore, but it's well, not every single one of them would have like horns and a tail and stuff like that. They have it so that there's like a long list, like, well, not long, but they have a list like of traits, and then you have like basically points to begin with when you choose that race or ancestry, I think is what they call it in Draw Steel. And then you can choose from the list of traits based on the points that you start with. Most of the traits are like 1 point, so, and I think you get 3 to start with. Or, well, you get 3. I don't think you get any more throughout the game. Or at least for the devil, that's what we had, was 3. Then there's some traits that will cost more than 1 point. Most of them just cost 1. I picked one that cost 2 points. Because I basically just created a character based on a mini that I already had painted. So, yeah. I like doing kind of different races or ancestry. Just go ahead and get started on the same parts on this one, actually, with the time we have left. I was noticing this morning when I was working on or starting that other tent this morning that there is a bird. This right here is actually a bird right there. And I almost didn't notice that. So now I have to think about what to paint it as. It kind of looks like it could, with the way it's sculpted, you could do like blue jay or cardinal. Even do like a parakeet if you really want to get a little more exotic. Well, that would be, for my campaign, that would be really odd. Was initially doing that little rucksack there, same as the tent. Probably better not to. I'm just doing this because it's such a bright yellow color that they did, so making sure that whatever is near the edges is covered up. So you can tell that it's really warm in here is I'm not drinking coffee, but am instead drinking a cold beverage of some sort. probably get to a stopping point here. We'll just at least get this panel and then we'll be half done with this one color. I don't think I actually ever said what my mixes were for things, but that base coat that I did was like a couple drops of brown liner with a couple drops of saddle brown. Not quite 50-50. There's one drop more of the brown liner. And the color I'm using right now is about 50-50 of brown liner and saddle brown. And then the colors you saw me do on this one, the other colors are right here, saddle brown with chestnut and gold. Here, show you the bottles. These colors. This is mostly chestnut and gold, and then up here we got brown liner, and then it's a successively less brown liner and more of the wolf gray with each one, where this one is basically just wolf gray. There's that. And these are just glazes that I made from the others to go over the glaze to go over the fur, and then the other glaze, the more brown glaze, was on the actual tent. So yeah, we got one tent. As far as the main canvas part of the tent, as well as this fur that's hanging on top, we got one done and got started on another. And there is like a little animal here. It's hard to tell whether that's meant to be a live animal or, you know, one they killed. I don't know. It's pretty slumped over, so it's a little questionable. But yeah, got all that done today. And Monday we will be back to these guys. There's a couple. Did not quite get all of them painted with the fur. Only got the two really done. And even these, I feel like they could maybe be touched up a bit, but yeah, we'll move on at least a little bit on the ones that I did already get some of the fur / skin done, and move on to something else on Monday. So, yep. I will see y'all Monday. Hope you have a good weekend. Stay warm or stay cold, whichever, you know, fits your weather. And yeah, I'll see you Monday. Bye.